as usual, per usual, the King Lightning late on this one, so I do apologize for that, but better late than never. I am working on my tardiness so I can get better, and that's the plan this month, to be on point, but we'll have to wait and see, only time to tell. That being said, let's talk about HunterXHunter. Togashi Yoshihiro's HunterXHunter. Now, last month, so I am way on this one clearly, last month, mid-month, like around the 12th or the 13th, chapter 388 dropped. And this chapter was quote-unquote controversial, in a sense. The big thing here was one page in particular involving Rihan. Now, as HunterXHunter readers, we know who Rihan is. Rihan is someone that is pivotal when it comes to the current war between the princes on the Black Whale Mark I on the way to the large continent before the waters of the Dark Continent. Rihan is a very important character because he has an ability called the Predator ability. And he is one of the henchmen of Balsamico Might, and they all serve the first Prince Benjamin. And by the way, Balsamico, I say Balsamico because it sounds cooler, but either way. The whole point here is that this character has to make a very difficult choice, like a big choice, and that is who to target among the princes or high-value targets. Because Kurapika right now is training the bodyguards, and these guys are coming back much more powerful. Their aura has bloomed, and Rihan has just seen Maro come back from Kurapika's training. And Maro is one of the main bodyguards of the 5th Prince, and that's where he's located right now. And Maro's Nen is substantial. It's growing. And on top of that, most of the people that can feel Nen in the first floor have been feeling the massive surge of Nen from the 9th camp area. Hulkenberg's camp is getting massive gains. But at the same time, he was ordered to manage the 5th Prince, because the 5th Prince is one of the older and more influential princes, number one. But then number two, the 5th Prince is someone that does seem to be a credible threat considering how the 5th Prince operates. Very tactical, willing to plan out every detail, has very loyal henchmen, and so on and so forth. However, the Predator ability that Rihan has takes a lot of time to focus when it comes to deciphering what the Nen Beast or the abilities of the person he's targeting are. And he's trying to focus in and target the 5th Prince's Nen Beast, but the 5th Prince's Nen Beast is in hiding. It is camouflaged, and he cannot perceive it. So he has to make this really big decision on what to do when it comes to his powers. And as usual, we have an internal dialogue. And in this page, carried over from the previous page, there are 7 panels where he talks about this in greater detail. And among those 7 panels, only 2 have actual images. And the other 5 are text, pure text. And this has thrown some people off. And I would say mainly the folks that don't read HunterXHunter. Folks that watch HunterXHunter, maybe read it sparingly, or that are not readers or fans of HunterXHunter in the first place. Because when I post this on Twitter, like, it was for lulz. Like, okay, HunterXHunter has reached light novel status. Like, lol. But a lot of folks took it to, like, the next level and was like, oh my god, like, Togashi's lazy, slacking, cutting corners. How did Shonen Jump let that pass? And so on and so forth. And I found it a little bit surprising, because we always rag, as HunterXHunter fans, we rag on Togashi when it comes to the whole Dragon Quest thing. Like, we have, honestly. That was because we would have, like, indefinite hiatuses, and we have nothing for, like, 2-3 years at a time. It was like, what the hell? And then Togashi started to come back annually, where he'd come back for 10 chapters once a year. And of course, that is much better than waiting, 2-3 years at a time and maybe get, like, 10 or 5 chapters. Like, that sucked. So the fact that he was coming back annually was a good step in that direction. But this year was a bit special for Togashi. 2018, Togashi Yoshihiro came out for 20 weeks. The main reason being is that in 2017, he got noodles from the Danbei Noodle Corp, wherever they are. And then he said, as an author note in one of the magazine's issues, that he'd probably come back early 2018 to do some more HunterXHunter because of this company sending him noodles. So he did. He kept his word, and he came out early 2018 this year. And we had 10 chapters then. And so the question became from then on, would Togashi come back for another 10 chapters like he normally does? Because normally, after he was doing things annually, he would come back in the middle of the year. Like around June or July. That's when he pop up again. Now, Togashi, this year, came out again. After dropping the 10 chapters at the beginning of the year, he dropped another 10 chapters starting from August or September, and it ended in November. So Togashi this year leveled up by putting out double the amount of chapters he did normally. And mind you, this is understanding that Togashi himself has health issues. Even though we rag on the Dragon Quest, we understand that he has back problems. Ever since the Yu Hakusho days, he's had health problems. The guy does have substantial issues when it comes to handling stress. His back has issues as well. Understand, not a lot of folks are like Oda, where they can just pump out chapters almost on the regular, where he's forced to take breaks. Like, bruh, like, look at Kubo when he first started. Like, the troll king that we know. Sunglasses, arms folded. Like, he's the face of the troll. And then look at how he was when Bleach ended. It was like, bro. Now, you could just say, all right, fine, well, that's because of time. Fine. But at the same time, I would argue that a fair amount of that was because of stress, honestly. We know that this industry is not easy to be in. We know that for a fact. And we know that the hours and the workloads. Like, I remember seeing articles or interviews where these guys are saying that they only get like 4 hours of sleep a day on the regular. 3 on the regular. It's like, goddamn. So you have monsters like Oda that can just pump out content left and right. And then sometimes other guys, they just can't cope with it. They just can't handle it physically, to each their own. And sometimes their work just suffers. Kubo's work suffered because of it. The author of Degradement actually, I think, had like cancer, I believe. And they had to stop Degradement for a long period of time. Oda himself, during the Dressrosa arc, was fairly ill. And so he had to, take a much longer time. So you see what I'm saying? It ain't easy. So the fact that Togashi, from the previous 3 years, was doing it annually, and then this year decided to do twice as many chapters they did last year or the year before, that I thought was actually a really cool thing for us HunterXHunter fans, and we made a lot of progress in the story when it comes to this arc. So when folks say, well, Togashi was being lazy, or he's being lazy because he didn't show that much when it came from a visual standpoint in this page, would I want to see actual visual stimuli there? Yeah, fine. Like, I want to see a face, or I want to see a reaction. It's a manga, not a light novel. I actually want to see something there visually, aside from text. But you rarely see folks complain about the flip side of it, where it's like, for example, a One Punch Man chapter, where it's nothing, sometimes, it's nothing but images. For like page upon page upon page. A key example is Saitama against Speed of Sound Sonic. Like, very few folks would complain about that, but when it comes to just the wall of text, that's a big issue. It's like, nah, just read. Just read. As a HunterXHunter fan, it's very simple. Read. We do it all the time. Everyone does it. But you have to read more than usual. Oh. Again, for the lulls, not a big deal. But when you take it to like the next level and say, as a mangaka, Togashi Yoshihiro is booty because he does walls of text sometimes. It's like, what are we talking about right now? When you look at the context of what Rihanna is talking about, when he's going through his internal monologue, he's thinking about actually going against the orders of Balsam Miko, which could actually put Benjamin's camp in a tough situation. As a matter of fact, an even worse situation, actually, because right now they've lost a few guys, Ninth camp is spiking, and then on top of that, now the second camp, Camilla's camp, they're making gains too. It's like, Benjamin's camp, at this point in time, need all the help they can get, and they have to use their assets fairly wisely. So Balsamico's orders were to stay with the Fifth Prince, but Rihan is so gung-ho right now on not only Hulkenberg, but also Kurt Pickett as well, after seeing Mauro come back to the Fifth Prince's camp, and seeing that, and then Aura's like, whoa, what the hell? What happened to you, bro? Like, you couldn't do before, and now he's oozing aura, and that could lead to some friction when it comes to the First Prince's camp. So the context of the dialogue is very important, but because there's no visual stimuli backing the dialogue, oh my god, there's so many words. Jada, it's like, read. Will it take you longer than norm? Probably. It's HunterXHunter, though. It's HunterXHunter, man. Like, when you're in the bathroom and you're taking a number 2, just pop HunterXHunter and just read, bro. All right? When you're having a cup of coffee or eating some breakfast, just read. And so you want to have more visual stimuli. Okay, fine. But there's actually pictures on the page. Yeah, but there's 5 panels without images. But wait a minute now. There's actual images on the page. Is there a lot of images? No. But there's just not a lot. And then you have people kind of making the memes, and they were funny memes, by the way. But they were memes like, oh well, if One Piece was like HunterXHunter, and then it's like after Kaido like low diffs Luffy, it's oh well, the One Piece is this like legend. It's like, bro, that's it's like this is not what was going down, bro. This is not what was going down. If you actually read Rion's comments, like again, I get it. I get it. I understand it. But at the end of the day, I would say completely overblown, completely unnecessary reaction. It was just reading a sprinkle more than usual when it comes to Hunter. Honestly, like not even. It's the same. Like it's what we normally do as HunterXHunter readers nowadays. We read HunterXHunter. HunterXHunter manga readers tend to read a lot more than the average manga reader. Per se, especially in the shonen camp, absolutely, without question. Ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal. Okay, so I can understand why a lot of folks are not into HunterXHunter manga. I can understand why sometimes it's overwhelming. I can understand that completely, and I don't like it. I'll be honest. I don't like the dialogue when it's completely focused on the repeat stuff that we already know, and they were getting again, which. One time it's fine, 2 times is meh, 3 times like okay, like what are we doing now? But in this case, we have like for example, Rion talked about like the autopilot ability of the Predator, so it makes it hard for him to actually focus in on people that have multiple abilities like Kurapika. Either he recognizes Kurapika as a major threat. It's like come on, it's like we can't compare. Oh yeah, the One Piece is this crazy legend, and it's like, come on, like let's be real, okay, people. So on that note, last month, the HunterXHunter controversy, it was something so minor, like really, really small, wasn't a big deal. All that meant was, okay, a few more sentences. Big whoop-de-doo. If you don't read it, though, wow. I guess that validates why you don't read it. Just too much to do. But hey, all in all, I would say that chapter in of itself, when I get to the review, that chapter was still a fairly damn good chapter considering what we learned and what happened and so the actual substance of the matter. And by the way, the review will come out in 3 days' time. Within 3 days' time. Let me clarify that. Within 3 days' time. So obviously, guys and gals, I am done. Let me know, as HunterXHunter manga readers, where do you stand? I'm going to catch you guys and gals later. Be sure to rate the video. Not that hard to do. I guarantee you that, because I know that you all have a device. Called Zaimasu. You use Zaimasu to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell to join the squad. And as always, comment in the comment section down below. Peace. And have a nice goddamn day. Togashi, if you come out twice next year, 2019, you won't see me complaining. At the bare minimum. Have a nice one.